Welcome to this Integrator certification webinar from Robotics Industry Association. RIA is the only North American trade association dedicated solely to robotics. We collect exclusive industry statistics. We sponsor Automate 2013, which is a biennial trade show, next occurring in Chicago from January 21 through 24 at McCormick Place. We're there with ProMat, as a matter of fact. And we develop industry standards, including a worldwide robot safety standard. Our goal is to help improve business in the industry through education and initiatives that promote safe and successful adoption of robots and automation. In this webcast, we offer insight into RIA's new corporate certification program for robot systems integrators. I am Brian Hughes of RIA, and we are joined today by Armando Berry, one of the architects of our certification program. As you might expect, we have suppliers and integrators in the audience today, and it might not surprise you to know that there were many end users that signed up as well. We all have a stake in successful applications. Whether you are an automation customer or a maker of robot systems, what you learn today can help you. In this 30-minute webinar, we cover information that explains the importance of certification and how a company becomes certified for robot systems integration. Armando Berry is our speaker, and he brings with him decades of experience in robotics and automation. We really appreciate the insights and guidance he brought to the team that developed RIA's Integrator certification process. In 1987, Armando was employed by RIA member Adept Technology in San Jose, California, where he was a remote field service engineer. In 1990, he started a 20-year run with RIA Platinum supplier Fanuc Robotics America in Rochester Hills, Michigan. His career track includes a wide range of experience from technical engineering and customer service to sales and marketing, including time spent with RIA member Applied Robotics, maker of robotic end-of-arm tools and accessories. Armando, you've seen robotics from many perspectives, and we are grateful for the work you put into the RIA certification process. What are we going to cover today?
Well, thanks, Brian. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for participating in this webinar series for the new RIA Certified Integrator program. Next. About the program, we'll take a quick look at the program. Just about a year ago, I was approached by the RIA based on feedback from integrators and end users alike.
No technical problem there.
So based on the feedback from the end users and integrators alike, the RIA has taken these next steps and developed a meaningful program for certification that the end users value, which results in increased sales for certified integrators and ultimately satisfied end users. This certification will help drive the initiatives that focus on delivering best value solutions and complete service and support for end users. Not only is this certification and evaluation of the system integrator as a whole, but its personnel as well. Next. Here are the top frequently asked questions that I grabbed out of here. However, if anybody has any additional questions, we can take those off to the side at the end, and I can give you some contact information for myself. Number one here is who is eligible to apply for certification? Well, any robotic system integrator willing to provide the required information and participate in the on-site audit and exam can apply. So it's not just restricted just to members. However, I do have to say that it would probably be, for the non-members out there, it would be definitely advantageous to look into contacting the RIA to become a member, because there are a lot of benefits and information and visibility for your company to be showcased. The next one is, what is the cost for applying for the program? As you can see, it's a $2,500 for non-members. It's $1,500 for the RIA Gold integrators and $0 for the Platinum integrators. There is an on-site audit aside from the exam that is $500 per day. Most audits expected to last about 2 days. Travel expenses are just what are actual expenses that are incurred. And also, when and how do you apply? Well, you can apply now. You can contact Jeff Burnstein at RIA headquarters at the number listed there, and also his email address.
Right to that, Armando. I had a technical issue.
Okay, the following are key objectives that we'll meet. The number one here is to help users find qualified integrators.
Sorry about that, Armando.
That's okay.
With this.
And the rest of the bullet items here to help integrators demonstrate that they are qualified to meet the user needs. It also expands the use of robotics throughout the industry to help ensure more successful applications, and also provides a method of building and validating the skills of individuals and organizations. Next. This slide covers some different industry certification examples. I'm sure that most of you have seen them before. Number one here is a great example that a lot of us probably experience. We all at some time or another go take our car to the local garage for repair or service. The first thing you notice when you walk into the lobby is the certificates on the wall. There will be a certificate for the company as a whole, and also for each individual technician that has a certification. This is Control Systems Integration Association. A lot of you probably heard of this one. It is a Canadian initiative that goes out and helps integrators become better business people from the bottom up. Next. It's Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer. Next. Also the IT professional. And last but not least, PMP, Project Management Professionals. I know that a lot of the robot OEMs, as well as a lot of the non-core member integrators, have project managers that have this type of certification. Next. Okay, so certification benefits. Well, these are pretty much straightforward. Improved customer satisfaction through assuring end-user customers receive prompt, qualified service consistent with the industry standards. Next. There's expanded market opportunities for certified integrators as a result of RIA's extensive promotional campaigns. Well, I'll kind of dive into that a little bit here. Regarding the promotional campaign, RIA will have an extensive promotional campaign to make sure potential users know who the integrators are that have achieved the certification status. Also, a special emphasis on our website that reaches over 175,000 unique visitors a year, many of whom are seeking integrators, robots, special print pieces distributed at the trade shows, and events all over the world. Also, special email campaigns to users in a variety of industries and special positioning promotion at the Automate 2013 if the participating integrator would like to take advantage of our free exhibit space in the front of the show. Next. Also, enhanced skills and knowledge of robotics engineers who work for the certified integrator. Greater emphasis on robot safety and certified integrators. This is a good area where in part of the program, one of the scoring items would be, how often do you attend an RIA safety conference? enhanced customer loyalty for certified integrators. Also an opportunity for certified integrators to differentiate themselves. Certified integrators will receive plaques, logos, and other tools that can be proudly displayed either in their lobby or letterhead, trade shows and ads and product literature, and in other promotional efforts. Also increased exposure for certified integrators on Robotics Online, the industry's leading robotics resource on the market. Do you have anything else on that, Brian, you'd like to add?
We will be, well, Robotics Online is the trade association's RIA's website, and of course the reason for that website is to help users learn more about successful applications and members that would be able to help them. So yeah, we appreciate all the traffic, which is very substantial. It's nearly 200,000 unique visitors per year, as you mentioned earlier. It's a great place to have your message as a member.
Right. All right, next. Also, the opportunity for certified integrators to improve their performance by benchmarking themselves against industry standards. Certification and audit analogy. These are some of the things that we're going to take a look at from a profile perspective as well as in the scorecard area. Company size, financial strength of the company, company history and tenure, references, which would be like customer references, experience with similar applications and systems. Robotic integration, is that a strong part of your business? That's something that we'll definitely dive into during the exam and audit, as well as preparing for the process. Number of robot-related projects completed per year. Location of your facility or facilities. The size and suitability of the facilities. Experience and background of key employees. Available human and other resources to complete the project. That's if anybody uses an outside firm to fill in the gap in some of the areas that they need to required for completion of a project. Project management capabilities. And this is a quick snapshot of the profile and assessment. The information here is confidential information. It stays with the two parties. However, at a later date, as Brian had mentioned earlier, we'd like to sanitize some of this information and figure out what would make you feel comfortable sharing to others when you showcase your company and your employees. Okay. This is the self-scorecard snapshot. In here, the scores are averaged at the end of the scorecard from 1 to 5. 3 or better is required to move on through the process. If someone doesn't get if they're fall below a 3, then the scorecard definitely shows exactly what area they need to improve in, and we can work with them on that and go through the whole process again.
Oh, almost losing you there, Armando. Maybe you turned your head just a tiny bit.
Oh. Next. Okay, this is the robot exam criteria. The RIA exam proctor will ask each candidate to perform a variety of predetermined objectives and tasks on separate robots if available. The hands-on section is about 20 questions, and also there's 4 personal bio questions that you want to get some information on each employee. The expert response section, which would be which is 5 specific questions also added to this related to work experience. On-site audit of the business infrastructure for the completed self-scorecard that you've just seen, which also has about 25 different areas that we look at, from infrastructure, business to personnel. This other one is the certified robotic technologist level. requires the completion of a hands-on section with a passing score of at least 70% or greater. The certified expert robotic technologist level requires the completion of both the hands-on and also the 5 expert questions with a passing score of greater than 90%. What we're going to do here is try to maintain, it's important for the integrator to maintain a 2-to-1 staff ratio consisting of 2 certified technologists at a minimum and 1 certified expert robotic technologist for program compliance. Also, open resources are definitely available and allowed.
So during the testing, manuals or notes can be out for the companies that are involved and the people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody uses the manual, otherwise they wouldn't print them. So we can't remember everything.
Right on.
And for here, the exam outcomes, these are the things that we're looking for candidates should be able to do, and that would be demonstrate safe work procedures, read and interpret robot manufacturer manuals, demonstrate basic setup of a robot, verify mechanical unit mastering, the I/O, the tool center point, work envelope, tooling, and if there's any peripheral safety equipment around the robot at that time, have that connected up. Also, I will be doing have the employee also program simple pick and place routine and optimize it for quick cycle time. And also program a simple path routine, tracing a marked path and optimizing for quick cycle time. Okay, the certified roadmap. The overall scope of the certification will be sent out to the participating robot integrator, which would cover like the benefits, the pricing, terms, and also the next steps. The participating robot integrator is to complete a company profile form, which you had seen earlier. These cover the general features, as I mentioned, of the organization, including the name and address of its physical location, and also significant aspects of its process and operations, including overall revenue. RIA, we will execute a standard NDA that both parties agree on. As I stated earlier, all information is kept just between us and the participating integrator, and nothing will be shared unless agreed upon. Participating robot integrator to complete the integrator self-scorecard. This will, as I mentioned before, covers the general information relevant for the field of certification applied for concerning the organization, such as activities of human and technical resources and other functions. The self-scorecard serves as a benchmark whether or not the participating robot integrator is ready to move forward.
So an integrator who is interested in getting certification has the chance to go through a self-scoring exercise here, Armando, to make sure that before we start the process and the fees and everything, that they know that they're either in a position to be able to have a good exercise and certification process, or they may need to, after the results are determined from the self-scorecard, look at a few things where they probably should concentrate before we start the process and the fees and all of that.
Absolutely, that's correct, John. I mean, Brian, sorry. The roadmap continued here. Once the self-scorecard is completed and the scorecard is a 3 or better, the auditor will then begin the process of gathering the information concerning all outsourced processes used by the organization, if any, that will affect conformity to the requirements. We'll collect all this evidence and documentation outlined that you supply in your self-scorecard. This is what part of the audit is all about, is actually going through and checking off each area that you scored yourself in. And but the information gathering has to be done before we schedule any visits. Evaluation of the client's location and site-specific conditions and discussions with the client's personnel to determine preparedness for the audit. Once the quotation is accepted by the client, the acceptance will be acknowledged. Auditors, including myself and others, will be nominated, and the client will be contacted to set up the exam and audit date. More of the roadmap continued here. Exam auditor to schedule on-site visit, which will require a 2-day trip. This does not include the pre-preparation or the post-preparation time. On those preparation times, that's the information gathering that we do beforehand, and also any of the stuff we need to tie up at the end of the certification, like the results and the certificates and other things like that.
So in all likelihood, an exam or an audit can happen within a 2-day time period, and there might be some things that happen in advance and at the end so that things go smoothly.
So that's correct. Upon completion of the certified exam and audit, a report will be generated, and this is what I was just talking about, the post-preparation time, and given to the client, documenting the audit findings, including identification of any areas of concern that would be classified as non-conforming during the audit. Scoring and certification results will be handed out immediately after the audit and exam. All certifications will be publicized once a quarter on Robotics Online. The next slide here is for certification appeals process. In the event that the participating integrator does not pass the exam requirements, they can exercise a 30-day appeal for any score greater than 50%, and will be given the opportunity to rectify their status. So basically, we select 50% or greater because there may be a couple areas that can be scored higher very easily, such as taking a robotic training course at one of the robot manufacturers, etc. Simple stuff like that can bring them back up to the area that they need to be to proceed with the certification. Also, any scores below 50% requires a 6-month appeal process. This stage will require the whole on-site audit and exam to be administered, and a standard certification program fee does apply. This slide goes over the biannual integrator recertification. This is a continuous organization compliance requirements. Participating integrator contact the RIA at the end of the 2-year period. The auditor will require the evidence and the data that was supplied from the initial certification found on the scorecard that you completed and the certified expert response card before any exam or audit are scheduled. Major changes to the integrator's infrastructure to be reviewed for compliance to the program. And one of the nice things here is if there's no major changes in personnel or infrastructure or process, it's definitely possible to recertify without the on-site audit and exam again. And there'd just be the application fee. And here's a certificate example, John Doe, and this is what this looks like for the individual.
So as they get their certification individually for expert and so forth, that's what you see.
And this one is for the company as a whole to put in their lobby certificate. And with that, I just want to say thanks again for participating. I am sure 2012 will be another good year for robotic integrators and the OEMs. My contact email, in case anybody has any additional questions in this program, I'd be more than happy to get in touch with you. That would be aberry@sbcglobal.net. And I guess back to you, Brian.
Very good, very good. I've seen a few questions come in during our time here during the webinar, and in most cases, hopefully, we were able to actually elaborate enough to help people understand some of the questions or answer the questions they had. One was, will there be a PowerPoint available for download after the webinar? I believe that is true. In fact, we will notify all of our pre-registrants about the chance to be able to go back and watch the archive and the chance to have a download of this PowerPoint presentation. And we hopefully answered this for the person who was asking what is the typical average time period for these audits. 2 days is anticipated as typical.
2 days.
I see another one. Let's see. So those are some of the questions that came in from people who are using the control panel. Now, what I'd like to do is just see if anybody else has questions. You may see that there's a little hand icon at the side of your control panel. Or in your control panel, if you click it, it'll raise your hand, and we'll look to see if there's any other questions before we conclude today's webinar. Go ahead, everybody. We've got a new question that just came in. Or did it? Nope, there's no information there. Here's a question. Does this certification apply to welding robots?
No, this does not apply to welding robots. I mean, we do look at the core competency of each company because I think that's an important thing when a visitor, a user, visits the RIA website looking for, like I said, a robot or an integrator to do a specific application for them. So when we gather the profile, we do have in there what are your core competencies, and if welding is a big part of your business, that is something that will channel those referrals that come in. If it's in your area and that's what they're looking for, that'll be channeled to you a lot quicker and easier.
So rather than
it's general robotics.
Yeah, specific application like welding certification, it's really business certification, corporate competence, and just general profile of the company and its workers so that there can be some evaluation and comparison of integrators when it comes to you as a customer going to decide who you want to use. You might see that some are more are more involved in welding applications. Some might be more involved in pick and place or packaging and palletizing, and that information will be available from these audits, right, Armando, so that people can see how the integrator itself positions itself as far as its expertise?
Absolutely. Yep, the information that we'll gather, because right now everyone has every member integrator has a profile on the site. However, we can actually make that more detailed and, showing if they feel comfortable, not who their customers are, but what industries they do serve and what applications that they mostly do.
One of our audience members wanted to revisit the issue of if you don't need to schedule a re-audit based on the fact that nothing has changed significantly, whether in your personnel or focus of your company, that it can possibly be done without an on-site audit. The question that this person had was, do you still need to pay a fee for recertification?
Yeah, it's just the upfront application cost, but there won't be anything like, the 2-day trip out there and securing the time and of others. And so, yeah, but there will always be the, as with any certification in most industries, upping your status. It is the fee of application.
And those fees vary depending on your status as an RIA member. Armando mentioned that earlier. There are members, the association has something like more than 50 integrator members, and some of them are platinum integrator members, and some of them are gold integrator members. It's a different menu of benefits and a different rate of dues. the certification fee is included for a member that is in the platinum category of integrators. So there's one advantage to RIA membership. We'll be promoting all our members, of course. The gold integrator members do have a reduced discounted fee for certification on their company, which I think it was $1,500, right, Armando?
Yeah,
and then if you're not a member, then it's what, $2,500? Is that right,
yeah,
Armando?
Yep, $2,500. Yeah.
And so we are happy to certainly take on questions about what membership entails and how that can be factored into your decision-making process. If there's another question here, Armando, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to summarize it properly, but I'll do my best. It seems to have to do with, a concern about sensitive information, so maybe we want to cover that. And as an integrator, do we have to share all information in the questionnaire? It goes on to say there are financial and or confidential information that we may not want to share even though there is a non-disclosure agreement involved. That might be a question that we have to handle offline, but it is one that came up. Is there anything we can say to that now, or shall we?
Well, yeah, I can say something on that now. I have to be honest with you. There's about 18 to 20 integrators that already did the profile, and it was interesting. The information they gave us was all confidential, so really no one had any. At least the ones that gave us information had no reservations about giving us this information. Like I said, it will be held confidential. Nobody will see this information unless we ask for permission.
And those NDAs, they are between the auditor and the company and between the association and the company. Isn't that right? And right. So we actually cover it from both angles. And for the companies out there that may know about our statistics collection and distribution exercises, a trade association, which RIA has been doing this from almost the very beginning, providing information on orders and the shipments of robotics. There are only really a finite number of member companies or any companies that sell robot arms, and there's a lot more peripheral suppliers and integrators out there. So we've had decades to create a track record to demonstrate that the association is reliable in its adherence to the non-disclosure agreements. And believe me, none of those robot makers would be sharing their information with us, allowing us to collect and use that in a sanitized form unless they had a lot of confidence, because they know each other, they know who they are, and so we are very careful and sensitive to that particular concern.
Absolutely.
I'm not seeing, there might be one more question, but I'm not sure how to approach it. It asks that whether we know of any large companies, and by that I assume this question is about user companies that require certification as part of the selection process.
For bidding on a job? Is that what they're...
Right. Let's say you're a customer looking to install a robot system, and are there some customers that require certification before they will
even make certification? I don't think there's any. Yeah, it's a great question. I don't think there's any customers that are requiring that, but this whole certification endeavor started from actual customers and also other member and non-member integrators contacting the RA, voicing their concerns of other companies out there that may have been quick startups during the 2009, 2010 era that outbidded them on a job because obviously they don't have any processes in place, and or they are not very much overhead, and with that they overpromised. They overpromised on what they could deliver, and this kind of put a bad taste, I think, in a lot of other companies' mouths, and this is what kind of drove this whole initiative.
Very good, very good. Yes, And as an association, we will use our discretion and be judicious about it, but we will allow the people who visit the website Robotics Online to find out more about the integrators and use the information that is available in its aggregate form or its the non-sensitive information to make some judgments about the integrators that they are looking at as they go through the bid process or even the selection process. That is one reason we're doing it, just like Armando said, is it came out through user groups, through the sessions with users and others who have expressed concern that they don't want to have a black eye to the industry from integrators who are not qualified, and we at least give you some information to use. So while it may not be required as far as we know that companies require certification, and since this is such a new process, that would be maybe something that just isn't realistic to have in the mix right now, but you never know in the future. The main thing is we will give enough information that allows companies to at least make some informed choices. What kinds of applications is a particular integrator especially competent or historically been involved in, or those kinds of things. So there will be some pieces of information available so that companies that are worried, or at least that are trying to make good decisions, can use to help them. And of course, we'll coach our integrators so that they understand how to be positioning themselves so that they don't overpromise and that they are able to deliver what they say they can. And that's all part of making it a better experience in the industry, the association's mission to promote the safe use and adoption of robotic systems. Again, the safety standard is one of the very important aspects of what our association does and stands for. The industry actually has a very good track record for safety when it comes to robotics. Many times what we hear is that any accidents that are reported in an automation environment tend to be the kind of things that happen either outside the cell or through worker errors trying to defeat safety systems. So there will be other RIA webinars about robot safety, as a matter of fact, this year. And we'll cover other things like the basics of robot end effectors. We'll go into vision applications, and we have packaging and palletizing webinar later in the year. And as we move toward Automate 2013 in January of 2013, and we're there with ProMat at the McCormick Place in Chicago, there will be some of our webinars and some of our efforts will look at the warehouse application of robotics and material handling. All of these things are, of course, pertinent to what goes on with the ProMat exhibitors and with our own exhibitors. It's a big show. It's one of the biggest. It's the biggest in North America that covers automation in robotics and logistics and those other fields. I think I don't see any other questions. And with that, thank you, Armando, and thank you, everyone, for selecting RIA's Integrator Certification Webinar Series as part of your effort to learn more about robot systems integrators. Please tell others about us so we can help even more people learn how to be successful with robotics. More than 50 leading integrators belong already to RIA, and every major industrial robot maker is a member as well. Other members you can network with include users, educators, and consultants. We were doing a lot of that at the forum this year. It was an excellent way to learn more about the industry. We hope that you will always turn first to an RIA member. It's just good business. Thank you again, and that concludes today's webinar session.